and breath entered into them again. So the words of a prophet should be creating life in the spirit of God's people. And so in Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 14, we read, I will put my spirit in you, and you will live. This is a very important part of the prophetic ministry. See, when a prophet of the Lord is coming and ministering in the spirit of the Lord, that spirit that is within inside of him will breathe life into him. But when he speaks the word, that spirit, the living word, should also go forth out of his mouth and revive the dry bones in those who are around him. So you want to look for it when you're examining the prophetic ministry of a person who comes to proclaim the word of the living God, that his words will have the fruit effect of breathing life into people's souls. Not only is a prophet led by the Spirit of the Lord, but the words that he speaks will breathe life into the dry bones, because God is with that prophet. God, who creates life, sends his servants to breathe life into his people. This is important for us to understand. And if someone claims to be a prophet of God, but yet is not speaking to God's people, there's a major problem. Clearly, that prophet is not engaging as a watchman for God's people, because he's not ministering to God's people. The prophets of the Lord are sent to God's people. You know what I mean? So that they may be edified, and so that they may be built up, and so that new life would spring up anew in them. If someone claims to be a prophet of God, but yet is not speaking to God's people, there is a major problem. If someone claims to be a prophet of God, but yet their words instill worry, fear, and dread instead of breathing new life into God's people, then there is a major problem with that man's prophetic ministry, and one has to start asking questions. Did the Lord really send this person? Now, the prophet has a duty to challenge and to confront false prophets. Okay, so not only does the prophet have to prophesy to the dry bones so that they might live, not only is a prophet a servant of the Lord, sent to do God's will and fulfill his desires to the people he has sent him to, but a prophet also has the duty to challenge and confront the false prophets. Okay? And so in Matthew chapter 5, verses 15 through 20, we read, watch out for false prophets. The very first words that you have to pay attention to is watch out. We, as the children of God, should be watching out for the false prophets. These are wolves. Okay? They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. And part of this lesson series is to help prepare the church to be able to recognize true prophets and false prophets. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. Okay? And so when you're examining the prophet, you're watching, okay? Anybody comes to be a prophet, you're like, okay, I have a job to do. As a believer, I have to watch for the false prophet. So let me analyze the fruits of that man's ministry and in the fruit of his life. Because a good tree